All right, this is Artie Astor from B Sharp and C. So I am going to go south of the equator and go down into Brazil. And I didn't listen to this song yet, but I did do a little bit of background research. And let me see if I can find the web page that I had pulled up. Hold on a second. So these guys are out of New York, but they have a pretty close connection to yours truly. One of them is from Brookline, Massachusetts. I'm from Boston. And the other one is actually from Frankfurt, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Frankfurt, Germany. And then she fell in love with the Brazilian culture and the Brazilian language, ended up moving down to Brazil to further learn the language and to collaborate with some artists. So this is a duo called SOFI Tucker, which is a mix of the two names, right? Sophie Hollyweld, and Tucker Halpern. And yeah, they have a song. Oh, where is it? Here it is. It is called Brazilian Soul. This video itself has 11 million views and it's only 2 years old. I have no idea what to expect. I was just looking for something different to react to. I read the comments, I read a little bit up on them, and they seem to be really good. So I'm going to go ahead and just play this song. And I'm assuming it's live. Yeah, live on KEXP. So let's go. Ooh, this is nice. It's got a little bit of a bossa nova feel to it.
The praia in the sun, the fall in the night. Garota brasileira dancing into the daylight. Te sonhei rebolado, tão não é para try to. Seu jeitinho, your carinho, something that I'd fly to. Quer saber-te onde sou, brasileira, meu amor, Brasil. Quer saber-te onde sou, brasileira, meu amor, Brasil. My tambourine in the rhythm of samba, in the heat of December. Oh, Brazil is where I go. I think I've got a case of Brazilian soul. I'll always remember, in the heat of December, when we let our hearts grow close. The swing in the sun.
So far this is really, really nice. Saxophone solo, I felt it was really nice. It was really subtle, and it struck me as odd because, well, tenor sax usually isn't very subtle. So it took me a few seconds to adjust my brain to it, but it had a really nice sound to it. This is really good. So the song itself, the lyrics are both in Brazilian Portuguese and in English. Um, I don't think, I mean, German is her first language. And when I was living in Brazil, there are a lot of states that have a lot of German settlements in it. Like Paraná has a lot of areas in it. Catalina. Oh my God, I can't think in English all of a sudden. Like my brain just shut off. Santa Catarina. right? There is a Joinville and other cities, Blumenau, other cities within that state that are mostly German, and they have like Oktoberfest and stuff like that. In Paraná, when I was living in Guarapuava, there was a German settlement in Guadapuava, and you go there, and all the houses are German. They all look German. It's really something. It's really something to see. But there are a lot of parts of Brazil, especially in the south, where it's a lot more European, that have German settlements and everything, and it's really cool. So, she was fascinated with Brazil. She moved there. I'd love to find out where in Brazil she lived, just out of curiosity, if she went to Santa Catarina or if she went to São Paulo, which some people do, because it's such a big, there's so many people in São Paulo. There's so much to do and learn from, and I think it's the biggest city in South America, to be honest with you. Um, but this is just really nice. It has kind of a bossa nova feel. So the guy, I'm guessing that would be Tucker, um, is playing. Where are we? We're at 2 minutes and 8 seconds. So he's kind of over here, um, activating certain sounds and doing some mixing and what have you. It was almost like a DJ. So it's a really nice relationship that the two of them have. And so far, I really like it. This is really, really nice, really different, really different. And I had to adjust my brain because I was expecting something. I was expecting one thing, and now I have to adjust myself to this. But I'm very pleased with what I hear so far.
Swinging the samba, todo mundo bamba.
And you can hear there's a little bit like her vocals are just beautiful. She's got a really pretty voice. Oh, the first time seeing the keyboard player. I don't even know who that is. So maybe we'll see her in a second. Um, but there is some type of like radio filter or some type of filter on the vocal track, which just adds to the feel. It kind of gives this an older feel, an older sound, and I like that.
Alma brasileira, drinking coffee with the capoeira. From New York to Pará.
Pará. So from New York to Pará. Pará is a state in the northeast of Brazil, right? So maybe she went to the northeast.
Atlanta to Paraná.
Paraná is also is a state in the south. That's where I used to live.
New York to Pará. Atlanta to Paraná. Sao Paulo, Tocantins, Miami, and the in-between. Quer saber se onde só brasileira, meu amor, Brasil.
Got a dancer. This is different.
Quer saber de onde só brasileira, meu amor, Brasil. My tambourine in the rhythm of samba, in the heat of December.
So I like this. The guy, doing all the controls is more than likely programming all the drums and activating drum tracks and things like that. Just sounds really good.
Brazil is where I go. I think I've got a case of Brazilian soul. I'll always remember in the heat of December when we let our hearts grow close.
I like the piano sound. There was like no effects on that saxophone, and the way it's set up, the way it's mic'd, you can actually hear him hitting the keys and the pads coming down and hitting the tone holes. Nice. Ooh, I like the tone of that, the guitar. Sounds like he's using the bridge pickup. That sounds like bridge pickup work. Oh yeah, that's all bridge. So he's playing, it looks like a Telecaster with the ashtray bridge. You see that right there? And he's playing right over that pickup right there. And you can see this switch is set up so it's really just using that pickup right there. But you can always tell when you have any type of Fender guitar, Telecaster, Stratocaster, anything, and you hear a very tinny, twangy sound. That's this switch right here is down that way to the left, not down to the right. If it was down to the right, it would be the neck pickup over here, which is a thicker, fuller sound. He's using the bridge pickup and he's playing right over it too. So he's really digging in with that sound. But if you listen to the effects on the guitar, yeah, it sounds a little tinny. And in some instances, if you don't have the right setup, it sounds almost like a duck quacking. But that's not the setup here. He's got a nice effects on it, so it's got a nice little sound to it. Right down the scale. Oh, you hear that at the end of the guitar solo? They increased the reverb. So you can hear the second track that she's harmonizing with herself. You can hear something there. She just comes in for one little bit. Right there. This is very raw. Super raw. Oh, nice, nice. And you can hear you hear that? The clicking sound? That's the cover. That's the I forget what it's, my God, I play sax too, but that's the thing coming down and hitting the tone hole. So
Discover new music.
wow, really great stuff. Really great stuff. I get the impression after listening to that they really wanted a raw feel. It doesn't seem like there was a lot of editing and work done in post. It sounds like there was probably some, but I think they really wanted to carry that raw feel. And it had kind of like a lounge slash bossa nova sound to it, and that repetitive piano line that was being played, and then everything about it. And it's funny because it almost has a European feel. I've heard some French electronica and Paraguayan electronica that it isn't necessarily electronica. It falls into that category because it sounds like it, but it's really like lounge jazz, and it's really, really, really good. And a lot of that comes from Europe and France and Italy and other countries that are usually Latin based European countries, and hence the south of South America, like Argentina, Paraguay, Uruguay, they produce a lot of that music too, and it just sounds so good. And I think I want to do this song here. Really reminded me that it had that feel, and it reminded me of when I was living in the south of Brazil. I was living in Paraná. Now I don't know where she lived, maybe in the south, but she mentioned a couple of states, so who knows? But I thought this was absolutely fantastic, mostly because it had a feel of like lounge electronica, but it wasn't, and it was very, very, very raw. You were there. You can hear the saxophone player, and you can hear him kind of going in and out of different lines, and even maybe not putting enough breath into a note at first and then adjusting. And you can, and I'm not saying he was making mistakes. I'm saying that it was raw. A lot of raw performances, especially something like this that doesn't come out and hit you in the face. A lot of raw performances, you're there, you're feeling the humanity behind the music. You're feeling that there's a person behind the music. And sometimes in post, a lot of that can be taken out if you over edit or over engineer something. You take the organic nature, the humanity away from a song, but they left it in. So when the song was over, you were like there in that room with them. They played that live in your living room. You were in your living room and they just set up and played for you. That's the feel that they carried with that performance. And I love stuff like that. I absolutely love stuff like that. Anyways, I'm going to, like I always do, put the link to the song in the description. I'll tag them. Well, actually, this was done by KEXP. I think I actually have to tag SOFI TUKKER. So I'll subscribe. They have 365,000 subscribers. So I'll tag them in the description. Let me know what you think of the song. Let me know if you have anything like this that you want me to react to, and I would be more than happy to do so. But until then, keep it groovy.